Yo, what's up? Sebastian Pearson here, and today we're going to be talking about my new workout program, and this is the part 1 where I explain the basic principles of my workout programs, and then I will give out all the information for free because as I don't have any viewers, I'm not going to earn any money doing this type of program, but if I get more viewers, I would take the program down and you could potentially buy it for money. But since I only have 43 subscribers, there's really no point in that. So, first and foremost, we've all heard about the fact that the body does not produce a higher amount of metabolism if you stimulate it with the same type of training all the time. And the thing is that it takes a really long time for that certain type of pattern to recover from a certain type of a workout, meaning that your body gets a certain response from all different types of workouts, from whole body workouts to Brosplit workouts. In any case, the body gets a certain response from each and every workout, which makes it hard to get metabolism again from that workout. For example, Paul Chek measured that if he does a heavy deadlift workout, then he has to wait, I think it was for at least 6 days or sometimes up to 2 weeks before he does a heavy deadlift workout again, because otherwise the appetite does not get stimulated. And this is where a lot of people fall short when it comes to physical training, and the reason is because they get discouraged because they don't feel the training, and for most people they don't have a clue about the aesthetics, they don't have a clue about the visual parts of the workout program. So for them it's really about how training makes you feel, and it's very easy to be discouraged and not feel good about training and working out, doing sets and stuff like that, if your body does not produce the healthy amount of metabolism that you get from the workout that makes most people feel good. So really, when it comes to physical training, there's a whole lot of different ways and a lot of combination of training that you can perform, but there's definitely not an infinite amount. There's definitely a limitation to the amount of training that you can perform in order to keep making results and in order to keep making your metabolism go up. So if we take a look at a basic Brosplit program, the problem with it is that it's very limited. It's very limited when it comes to for example, the intensities that you use, the rep ranges that you use, and also the patterns that you use and the combinations that you use. You're essentially leaving out a lot of so-called newbie gains just because your program is way too fixed, and if you're new to working out, that program is going to keep making you new gains. But as you get more advanced, you need to come up with ways that you can keep increasing your metabolism. So as I said, on a regular Brosplit program, you're pretty much just doing number 1, pushing and pulling exercises, because shoulders, back, biceps, arms, these are all push and pulling movements. So you're just using 2 patterns, and there's plenty of more patterns that you can train, and you should be training them all equally. So that's the first thing. The second thing, as I said, is that most people only do the same reps and they don't switch it up. They don't do any other kind of rep ranges or anything other than the 8 to 12 that is in that program, and then they typically have one leg day. And the problem with this type of training is that, as I said, it's not going to increase your metabolism any further, because let's say you're doing shoulders on Monday, you're doing pushing and pulling movements, you're doing upright rows, you're doing shoulder presses, those are pushing and pulling movements. Then you're doing arms, you're doing curls, it's a pulling movement. Tricep extensions is a push movement. Then you're doing back, which is pulling movements. And then you're doing push or chest, which is again a push based workout. And you're all doing the same rep ranges, so that means that you're very limited in your variation of training. Now, what you will come to realize is that amongst experienced lifters is that they unconsciously switch up the styles of training based on the different exercises that they use. So a professional bodybuilder would unconsciously switch up the tempo, because this is just one thing that you can switch up. You would get a different response from doing dumbbell rows very quickly, as opposed to doing a controlled dumbbell row where you potentially pause it and you do a slow negative. That would give quite a different response in the body. So most pros, they unconsciously have like 5 different tempos depending on the exercise. So for example, they would perhaps do heavy deadlifts. Let's say that the positive of the rep is like 3 seconds, pause at the top, and then maybe lower it down slowly, maybe 4 seconds, for example. And then the next exercise, so that's the tempo of that workout. And then the next exercise, a lot of pro bodybuilders would do like barbell rows with heavy weights explosively, which would hit the traps and the rhomboids, and that would be one tempo that they can use, or that they use for that exercise. But since they're switching out the tempo, the body does not get as tired, or the body keeps being interested. When you stimulate the brain, you can also stimulate muscle growth. So when you switch up the tempo, you're stimulating the brain differently, which makes it easier for the body to actually be interested in the workout and not feel like I've already done this, because the body naturally wants to have variation. So the second exercise might be an explosive bent over row for the traps, and then the third exercise might be just a regular tempo, seated row for example, no squeeze, just regular tempo, like 1 second up, 1 second down, 1 second up. And then maybe they would do lat pull downs, and the trend with lat pull downs, I see people do quite explosively down, and then they do like a 4 second on the way back up. And then you see some people, they do preacher curls, really concentrated, up and down, which would make for one kind of a tempo. And then when they go over to the heavy curls, they typically swing and maybe do some negatives on the reps. But the point I'm making is that most people that have intuition when it comes to the gym finds ways to keep all the workouts somewhat different and the tempo somewhat different, because that way you can get much better contractions because you're doing different things. Like if you're doing the good thing about doing whole body workouts is that when you're doing whole body workouts, you're not fatiguing the contractions of the nervous system when it comes to that muscle. So you can get full contraction on a back workout first, and then you can get full contraction on a press workout, and then you can get full contraction on a leg workout, and that way you can get a lot of very good contractions, but you're not going to yield the same results as you would with a regular Brosplit workout. So that's it for this video, and the premise of the video is that if you want to get very good results with your workout, you need to switch out the tempos and the exercise, and I will give you examples of why a Brosplit does not work as well as other type of training programs does, like a powerlifting type training where you do accessories is better because there's not just the same. First of all, there's more evenly distributed throughout the different patterns that you can train, and you also train differently because you have power movements and then you have some accessory movements, so you get a better variation, and that's the point of this video. Peace.